Good morning, everyone. First session. Good morning. Thank you for joining. In Nigerian parlance, happy Sunday. How you all doing? Trust you had a fantastic night. Good morning, Grace. Thank you for joining again. Good morning, Olayemisi, Olabisi, Obaseki, Fatima, Elizabeth, Adedoyin, Omotola. Thank you all for joining. It's great to have you all here again. How has it been so far? Trust we had a great experience yesterday with the 3 sessions we had. The feedback has been awesome so far. Thank you all for making all of this worthwhile. Thank you all for joining. We appreciate the time you are investing in this program. Good morning, Rebecca. Thank you for joining. And for everyone joining on YouTube as well, thank you all for joining. Thank you for tuning in early this Sunday morning. I know you could choose to be anywhere else, but thank you for making this commitment to join this session this morning. We are going to be looking at the new norm, First Industrial Revolution, and HR. Our speaker for today is Olawale Odunami. I'll be bringing him up in a moment. Just waiting for a few more people to join so we can get started. This session has been pre-approved for 3 global credits. So for those that hold the GPHR certification, this one is for you. As you know, you need 15 global credits to renew your GPHR certification. So from this session, you're going to get 3 global credits. There was a session we had on the first day, the one that had to do with cultural diversity. That was also approved for 3 global credits. So there'll be 3 more sessions during the program to take care of the whole 15 global credits that you need. So watch out for those who have the GPHR certification. You should pay particular attention to the sessions with the global credits, because you need that along with 45 HR general credits for your recertification. Also be reminded to take note of the attendance code at the end of each session. That's the way you can record your attendance when you're applying for the certificates or to earn the recertification credits. So please take note of that. While we wait for more people to join in, let's quickly meet our speaker for today, Mr. Olawale Odunami. Olawale is a certified human resource professional with years of experience across key HR functions spanning talent acquisition, employee relations, business process automation, and analytics, employee engagements, etc. He holds a computer science with economics first degree from Obafemi Awolowo University and an executive MBA with a focus on human resources from the same university, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. He started his career in consulting as a recruitment intern, rose through the ranks and left as a regional recruitment coordinator and people manager for Southwest Nigeria. He had a short stint in the electronic manufacturing industry as a recruitment unit manager before he moved to the technical industry, where he presently works with tech experts as the talent acquisition manager for Nigeria. Olawale is certified by the prestigious Human Resources Certification Institute, HRCI USA, as a professional in Human Resources International, tHRive, and as an associate of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, Nigeria. He is driven by the competitive markets and always evolving to meet competitive needs. He is an innovative mind driven by passion for excellence and continuous improvement, always following top global brands insights to keep abreast of rapid changes in the business world, which he constantly adapts to bring novel changes into any role and consequently earns great achievements. So it's from that passion to follow top global brands that will be sharing insights on the new norm, the first industrial revolution, and HR in this session. So with a loud ovation and a great applause, let us welcome Olawale Odunami to this session. Good morning, Olawale.
Good morning, Judy. Thanks for this opportunity. Good morning, everyone. It's good to be here. Thank you for joining this session this morning. And I'm sure that we're going to have a good time together. And let me share my screen briefly so that we can start this session this morning. Okay. Okay, I'm sure we can all see my screen. And basically, what we want to talk about today is we want to talk about the new norm. I mean, we are all aware of the realities that COVID-19 has impacted on us as organizations, as HR professionals, and of course upon our employees. And and then I want to take a look. Want us to take a look into the fourth industrial revolution. I mean, it was first mentioned in 2016 at the World Economic Forum, and I mean, whether we like it or not, it is here upon us already. We're going to look at how it's going to impact or support, enhance the new norm, and then we're going to look at what HR is supposed to be doing at this time. I mean, these are learning objectives. I mean, what I just talked about now. I mean, the unavoidability of the new norm or the new reality, and the need for us to prepare or accommodate it. We're going to have a good understanding of that, and then we're going to take a look, insight into the new norm, the reality of the new norm, what it is for organizations, what it means for employees, and what it also means for HR professionals, right? And then we'll take a little dive, into the fourth industrial revolution. Okay, we'll look through the different revolutions that we've had. I mean, what is powering it? And as I usually like to say to people, whatever it is, when we're having HR engagements like this, no matter what it is that we're talking about, we want to look at how it impacts the organization and what HR should be doing, because that's why we're here. Okay, we are HR professionals, and we want to look at our world and how it is impacting what we're doing, right? So we're going to look into that. We look at the first industrial revolution, second, third, and the fourth that is happening right now. Okay, and how the fourth industrial revolution is actually, supporting and enhancing the new norm. Okay, as we talk about that, we'll look at how it is impacting or how it would impact our function as HR folks, right? Because see, I will always say this, no matter what it is that we talk about. I'm a fan of technology. I studied computer in my first degree, right? And then I make a move into HR. So, at the heart of the things that I do, okay, is always the technology aspect of it. And there's no way we can, uh, take away technology from the present world. You can't do it, okay? It's an extremely important aspect of what we do right now in this age. All right. And then the next thing we're going to be talking about, then we would look at, some aspect of HR. Okay, I've picked just a few. What HR should be doing in those space, right? We'll look at them, and then we'll be done. Okay, I believe I will have enough time to cover all this. So let's proceed, and let's start. Okay. Now I saw this image on Destination International website, and I just liked it. Okay, it says keep calm. It is the new norm. Okay, and I just took this picture, although the person was talking about something a little bit different. Okay, from a little bit different, but I took this picture. Now, when we talk about the new norm, or when we talk about normal, normal means, conforming to a particular standard. Okay, normal means the expected state of things. Talked about expectation, basically how things are expected to be done. Okay, that is what normal means. Okay, so when we are talking about new normal, it means somehow, okay, there is a shift in how things are supposed to be done into another kind of way. Okay, means expectations are changing or have changed. Okay, so when we're talking about new normal, we're talking about change in standard. We're talking about change in expectation, okay, of how things should be done. Now, you know, when this, when COVID-19 hit the global space, okay, uh, it was what I call, it was a great interruption, okay, to the global economy, not just a particular country, everywhere, because the globe was shut down. You know, there was an economic standstill everywhere. Okay, I know a particular organization that to make the business run in one is a multinational. To make the business run in one of its sites, we were spending an average of 30,000 US dollars, 30,000 US dollars per day. Okay, per day, just to make sure its operations can run. Okay, because I mean things could no longer run the way it used to run, but because of the peculiarity of what that company does, it has to roll BCP into motion, and it costs a lot of money. Okay, great interruption. Imagine spending 30,000 US dollar on a daily basis on just one of its sites to keep operations running. You can just imagine, and see, the truth of the matter is this: we can decide to say, okay, yes, it is the new norm. Okay, we just adjust, and then no, we can't just adjust. We have to adjust in an informed manner. Okay, now this new normality that we're talking about, we have to be very careful with it, because the truth is this: it is going to stay with us for a long time, even after COVID-19, even after we get vaccines for COVID-19. Okay, we get drugs for COVID-19. What we have now, the probability that we'll go back to the normal that we're used to, is very, very tiny. Okay, so it needs a lot of strategic thinking. Let me put it that way. Okay, it takes a lot of sacrifices on the part of organizations and employees, of course. Okay, it's going to take a lot of assets, a lot of resources, okay, for us to come around, for us to adjust to this new normal. Okay, so it is an interruption, but we have to deal with it, okay, in a strategic way. Okay, we have to deal with it with a lot of planning, all right, for us to adjust to it. Okay, so as I said earlier, COVID-19 hit us, and all of a sudden, we were all told to go home. Okay, I stay in Nigeria. I'm in Nigeria, and I remember the president of Nigeria, holding a press briefing that particular evening, and then the next thing is by Monday we're closing everywhere. People didn't plan for it. We were just asked to go home. Okay, that's what it means. You guys pack your bags, go home. You can't work in your office any longer, at least for a particular period of time. That's what it means. Okay, so there was a mass exodus. Let me put that's how I put it there. There was a mass exodus, to working from home. Mass exodus. Okay, so there was this great interruption to the global economy. Okay, it brought about a global shutdown, right? And then it led us to what I call a mass exodus into a work from home reality. Now, a lot of people have said that, see, yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of discourse there on the internet where people will tell you that, see, the work from home that was ushered in by the global shutdown, okay, is not a true test, all right, of work from home. True. It has its reality. Okay, yes, we were told to go work from home just like that. When you say everybody go home, it means something is wrong. The truth is that it's different from the usual work from home that some of us, we're used to. All right. I mean, before your kids are in school, cafes are open. You can after you can take your lunch break and go to the cafe next door, okay, next to your house, or walk down the street to where the cafe is, and and you get something to eat, right? There was no fear of COVID-19 in the work from home that some of us were used to. There was no fear of work from home, no fear of COVID-19 impacting relatives, and all that. Nothing. Okay. And during the work from home that we were used to, there is this social we can socialize. Let me put it that way. We could socialize. We could say, hey guy, what's up? Okay, I have a 1 hour lunch break. What's up? Can we get together, have a chat on this project we're working on, and all that? We could socialize for lunch, but the one that took us all home, took the schools also home, sent teachers home also, right? The attendants at the cafes, they were also sent home, of course. And then, where you could have your lunch, everybody is at home. Okay, so the social is taken away. You have your children at home. You can see this guy that his children are jumping on top of him while he's trying to concentrate at work. Obviously, okay, it is extremely different from what we are used to. All right, but the facts still remain, irrespective of the differences. Irrespective, see, the reality remains. It is something that we have. As I said earlier, it is something that the reality of the new normal remain with us. Okay, and these realities have direct impact on organizations, has direct impact on the workplace, and it has direct impact on the people that are doing the work themselves. Okay, and as people officers, we need to begin to champion some conversations in the workplace. Okay, these conversations, we need to have them so that you know we can keep our people in a state where they remain productive. All right. So irrespective of the differences, okay, I'd like to talk about that because it is a discourse that people are talking about. It's not a true, it's not a true test of work from home. Okay. It's the truth, right? But irrespective, what is important is the reality of this new norm. The realities of this new norm impact the organization, impact the workplace, impact the employees, and we as the people officers need to champion conversations. Now, I mentioned earlier of an organization that was spending 10.8 million naira, that's 30,000 US dollars per day to run its operations. Now, what happened? Now, I got intrigued, by the organization when I heard the story from one of the employees because it is the chief human resource officers that is now leading a project, okay, a conversation that is changing, how the company is going to be working after this period. Okay, and everything is going digital in that company. They are running, they are doing a project. Of course, you're not going to come out and say, oh, this is what we are doing. No, that's why I said earlier that it needs a lot of strategy, sacrifice, and assets. It requires a lot of it to come around this new normality, right? So the chief human resource officer, is championing this conversation to say, hey, I can imagine what my people went through during this period. We need to go digital. Okay, we need to do right from the process of marketing to talent acquisition to how we engage our employees. I mean, employee onboarding, employee engagement, to our performance appraisals, uh, until people off board and leave us. Okay, we have to go digital. All right. And this is what this company is doing right now. And every single one of us, where we sit, okay, I know our realities differ. Okay, realities differ in the sense that we are in different organizations, and what happens in our organization will determine what we're going to do. Yes. But it means also because these realities affect people, we need to have conversations with the business on how to come around these new realities, right? And see, let's take a quick look at, the realities of this new normal that we're talking about. Okay, what are the realities of this new normal? How does it impact, the organization? How does it impact the workplace? How does it impact employees themselves? Okay, let's take a look at these things. So let's take a look at this. The first and foremost thing we know that, see, this new normal, the first thing it did was to bring about remote working. Okay, and see, this remote working is going to um is going to change. It's going to be remote, but the kind of remote will change. Initially, what we had was, we presently have remote in person. Okay, I mean, you can work anywhere. Companies will tell you that you really don't need to. There's something they call a remote workplace. Some companies have what we call remote workplace. Okay, what that means is this: instead of going to where your branch actually is, you can look at the nearest branch of the company closest to you, and you enter there and work. Okay, you're working remotely, but you're still in person in any of the branches. Okay, it's going to change, metamorphosize, okay, into remote domestic, which is what we have right now. Even those branches are not open. So we have remote domestic right now, okay, where people work remotely in their homes. Okay, now, in the long run, for companies in US, for company in Europe, okay, that the cost of employees, okay, the cost of running, or let me say, staff cost, that's on the OPEX side, operating expenses, as relates to staff cost. Okay, that is high. Okay, in those companies, what they would move to, okay, in the long run, as a result, as a means of adjusting to this new normality, is to have what I call a remote overseas. Okay, now what remote overseas is telling you is just like outsourcing. Okay, which we presently have one way or the other. Okay, I will now have to hire people overseas. Okay, let's say in Thailand, India, Singapore, where the costs of employee is low. Okay, now they would not need, not right now, what they have, in that kind of in outsourcing is they will go to a particular office and do the work. But this one, you won't have to go to a particular office. It's still remote overseas. You do it from your house. Okay, because the cost is low. Now we're still going to talk about this when we talk more about this, the reality of this, when we talk about what Facebook is doing. Okay, we're going to talk about this. I mean, remote overseas, we're going to talk about this. And then, the next reality is automation of certain jobs. Okay, we all know that right now, some jobs have been automated. Okay, and this new reality and the fourth industrial revolution are going to assign more jobs to be automated. And that's the truth. We are in the age of automation. We can't run away from it. Okay, we can't really run away from it. It is here. It is here. Now, what I'm doing right now in these first few slides is for us to have an understanding of the reality that has come upon us. Okay, when we understand that reality, we'll begin to think. Now, even when I start talking about what HR should be doing, one way or the other, I'll be talking at high level. Now, you as an HR professional, where you sit in your organization, now need to start thinking, okay, this is my organization. What do I need to do? This is the reality. This is where we're going to go to eventually. What are the things that I need to put in place? What conversations do I need to start having with the business, all right, to make us move or shift, okay, along with this new norm? That is what that's the conversation we're having right now, okay? So automation is here with us already. We all know bots, okay? You open a particular site, you see a bot come and say, how may I be today? Do you have any question you want to ask? You know, it's there, but the right-hand corner. Some people put it in the left-hand corner. It's there, okay? And you can engage. Maybe you have a question. You can engage, you know, with the bots, okay? And you know, some things are also happening in that line. We're going to talk about them when we get to the fourth industrial revolution, okay? You know, it will assign more jobs to be automated. So as we are talking about more jobs being automated, what will we do? Now, a research was done, and 63% of employees that took the job believe that their job, at least in the next 5 years, okay, it was done 2019, in the next 5 years, will not be automated. True, some jobs will not be automated in the long run, okay, whereas some jobs will easily be automated, easily be automated. But let's just move on. Let's just move forward. Another reality is online trading. It will grow. Okay, businesses are going to, of course, you know, during this lockdown. Of course, I'm in Nigeria, and I know for sure. I mean, Jumia did a lot of ads during this period, during the lockdown, and we could see as people were shopping, it was interesting. Okay, so online shopping, online trading, I'm not actually talking about Forex here, right? Online buying and selling is going to go up. Okay, the question is this: how will that affect your supply chain? Okay, who are the people that you think you will no longer need? Or who are the people that you think you would need? We have to look into, you know, the model that we presently run in our organizations and see what we can do differently with the reality on us. Okay. And another thing about this reality is this: the world economy will be driven by technology. Okay. And that's the truth. When people are working from home, what are they using to connect and to collaborate? Technology. You are automating jobs. What are you doing? Technology. Online trading. What are you doing? Technology. Okay. Now, in this new norm, technology have a very, very strong role to play to make this work. Okay. That's why I decided to merge this new norm, the fourth industrial revolution, together so that we can see what the fourth industrial revolution is actually going to do, okay, as it relates to the workplace, how it's going to affect organizations, okay, because technology would run things, okay, technology would run the world economy, all right, and it is important for us, all right, to understand how this would impact, you know, the workplace, the organization, and also the employees, all right. So that is why I merged the two of them together. So let's take a look at, you know, the industrial revolution itself. Okay. I mean, we've moved. I mean, a lot has really happened. Okay. I like history. And I like to read these things because, see, if I understand where we're coming from, of course, I am here in this particular time. I know where we are. Okay. It's easy for me to, one way or the other, okay, take a glimpse, at the future. Why exploring where I am right now? I'm ensuring that, uh, performance is at the top, okay, of what I do. Okay. So let's take a look at where we started from. What was HR doing in this different space, at these different times? Okay, what should we be doing now? Okay, conversations that we need to have. Okay, the first industrial revolution started around 1765, actually. Okay, 1760, 1765, different school of thought, right? And it was powered by the steam engine. Okay, and what that does is, we use water, steam power to mechanize production. Okay, at that time, they could use the steam engine for coal mining. Okay, and with coal mining, they were able to construct roads, railways. So that's why you're seeing the railway that you're seeing. Okay, with the coal mine, because the engine that you're seeing is running on coal. Okay, so yes, that was the first industrial revolution. HR. Okay, I mean the term HR didn't come to be until 1893 or 1863 or thereabout, and really around this time, the 18th century that we're talking about during the first industrial revolution. Okay, we had the likes of Owen and Charles, and what basically were they talking about? What they talked about then formed the basis of what we do now in HR. And they said that they concluded in their study that people are crucial to organization success. And hey, what are we doing now in HR? Okay, we keep telling the business, we keep telling the leaders, okay, that see, if you want this business to take a quantum leap, you need to pay attention to the people side of the business. Okay, that's actually what we're doing now. And that's where it started from. Okay, they came to a conclusion and said that, see, no matter what you're doing, people are extremely important to your business, to the success of your organization. Okay, these are things we're able to glimpse that happened within the HR space in the first industrial revolution. Nothing serious, HR wise. Okay, and then we moved to the second industrial revolution. Okay, second, third, we started having people management as professions, right? And the second industrial revolution used what we call the electric power to create mass production. Some of us remember this. Remember Frederick Taylor. Okay, those are the people that made name in that space. And we had the first name of human resource coined out within this time, but we were not using it as HR as we're using it now. It was around people management, as we have it. And this second industrial revolution, some of us know the history of that's what brought about the rise of people like Ford, people like Carnegie, people like John D. Rockefeller. These are the people that made wave. And we knew the challenge that we had then. They were using people like machine. And then we started having what we call union. Okay, we started having what we call union. HR was not very structured because it was the age of capitalism. Okay, we started having what we call union. So that's the form of HR that we had then. Okay, and started rising and say, oh, you're not treating people well. You can't make people do all these things that you're doing. You can't run people like machine. So HR started having a little voice there, although it was capitalist. Although we had instances where these unions that we could call some sort of HR back then influenced by this capitalist. Some of them refused to be influenced. All right. And then it creates the story around HR that we had in the second industrial revolution. Okay. And that revolution gradually paved way. Okay. In second industrial revolution, we had electricity, gas, oil, forming the core, that drives the economy in that period. And then we move to the third industrial economy. You know, we're talking about fourth industrial revolution this time, and some economies are still struggling with the third. And that's the truth. Some economies are still struggling with the third. There's this space, space. I mean, a lot of space, between developed economy and the least developed economy when it comes to technology. And this goes a long way in affecting how the economy runs. And that's just the truth. Okay, but let me stay on the third industrial revolution. Okay, we had the rise of electronics, telecoms, computers. Yes, that's what we had then. And computers, telecommunication, electronics gave rise to what we were to open the door for space expedition. Okay, that's when we had the first man landed on the moon and all that. A lot of research were done, biotechnology, and this period also, was also instrumental in the development of people management, or that we now call human resources. Okay, and we saw the rise of HR come into prominence. Okay, within this period. Okay, with IT, computers coming into bear. I mean, of course, the capitalists were still driving people. All right. I mean, but it's less. It's not as it used to be. Okay, HR has better voice. During this period. Okay, and the truth is this: some economies are still here in the third industrial revolution. I mean, a lot of economies are still here. I mean, even the economies that are thriving on the fourth industrial revolution, I mean, that are saying that are moving there gradually. Okay, they're still largely in the third industrial revolution. Okay, but the things that are happening now to fast track those developed economies to move, into the fourth industrial economy that will shape, okay, the way their economy runs. I mean, we all know what is happening right now. We have automatic cars. Um, we know what is happening. This is not third industrial revolution. This is the fourth. Okay, where we talk about the Internet of Things. So I'm gradually moving into the fourth industrial revolution now. Okay, and what I have there, it is happening right now. Okay, is the age of intelligence. Okay, is it happening right now? It was first mentioned, I said earlier, in 2016, right, at the World Economic Forum, and 2016, 2006, 2016, 2006, yeah, and it is changing the way some things are done right now. But let's take a look at them, one after the other. Let's take a look at how the things that it is impacting, how it is impacting, these things. But let's take a look at the fourth industrial revolution itself. Okay, the fourth industrial revolution talks about. Okay, this thing is covering my screen. My screen, I can't see it well. Nah. Okay, now it's much better now. Okay, now, the fourth industrial revolution, it talks about one interconnection of things, what we call Internet of Things. Okay, say a lot of things will be, connected without the physical connection. Okay, that's what the fourth industrial revolution is talking about. Okay, another thing is the virtual reality. Okay, and these things have impact, on what we do right now. Virtual reality basically talking about simulating the real world into things like games. Okay, and we also use this in HR right now. I mean, we know we use this thing in HR right now. We use it for education purposes. We simulate in training. When you do training, when you talk about training, within the HR space, one of the things we talk about is simulation. Okay, and simulation is a part of virtual reality. Okay, so whether we want to talk about the fourth industrial revolution or not, it is already here with us and we're already using it. Okay, but the kind of disruption that it is going to bring, just like COVID-19 brought a lot of disruption, is what we are actually not talking about. Okay, which we need to be talking about, which we need to prepare for, okay, such that when it comes into play as it is, okay, as it would, okay, we will be ready for it. All right, we would be ready for it. Somebody will tell me that, hey, we are not even, in countries like Nigeria, we're not even announcing the third industrial revolution. We're talking about the fourth. But the truth is this, right? The truth is this. For some of us that work in multinational, I remember attending a training, a lunch meeting or breakfast meeting, yes, at Deloitte early last year. Yes, that was in early last year, February, March. Okay, where we talked about the fourth industrial revolution and how it's going to impact the workplace. Now, this was 2019, early 2019. Okay, a company is already forward thinking. They have done research into how the fourth industrial revolution would affect the workplace, would affect employees. I mean, the workers themselves, and how it will affect leadership. Okay, I mean, when companies like Deloitte, like Ernst Young, I'm going to talk about some things Ernst Young is doing too. When they're already doing research into these things, we need to know that it is a reality that will come sooner or later. But the truth is this: some people are already there right now. Okay, so we can't shy away from it. We can't say that, oh, it is something that we don't want to talk about. It will come. So the thing that we need to, as HR professionals, what we need to start thinking about is, okay, if this is going to come, what are the little things? I mean, very little things I can change within my organization. Don't let me even say change. Okay, what are the very little things I can start the conversation about within my organization? Remember, one of the 6 new function of HR is being change agents, right? Now, we need to have this conversation with the leaders. Okay, so think within your space, where you sit, where you work. What are the little things I can begin to change or I can begin to have conversation about? I mean, you raise it today. You come around, of course, you need to know how to have communication in the workplace. You go talk to A, talk to B, talk to C. You make them see what you're thinking about so that when you get to a meeting, you get the support. Okay, these are realities. Okay, it will happen. The question is this: how prepared would we be when it comes upon us? Okay, for a country like Nigeria, some people are already doing it. Let's talk about big data. Okay, I mean, it basically talks about collection and analysis of huge amount of data. This huge amount of data keeps growing exponentially. Okay, and see, companies like Google, Netflix, they're already using big data. They're already using artificial intelligence, okay, which is a part of the fourth industrial revolution. They're already using cloud computing, but we are just not aware that it is here. I'll give you an example. Netflix, what will they do? They will look at Netflix will look at the kind of movies you've searched or you've seen in the past few days, few months, and they will use that to suggest movies to you. What do you think they are doing? That's big data at work. That's artificial intelligence. That is fourth industrial revolution. Okay, it is closer to us than we can imagine. See, what we should be doing is, how are we going to bring it home to our organizations? Okay, how? Because see, the gig economy, then let's go there. Because these things are happening. You are experiencing it. Your workers are already experiencing it. So how do we bring it on board into our organizations? Okay, somebody say, oh, Wale, you don't know where I work. You don't know. The truth of the matter is this: I don't know where you work, but this will come. So what are the little things that we can change right now? We need to start changing them in bits and pieces. Okay, I mean, artificial intelligence, you're simulating human intelligence into machine. Okay, and for those that use Apple iPhone, Apple products, iPhone, we know Siri. Okay, that female voice that talks to you, you ask questions and then it tells you about it. That's artificial intelligence. That is the fourth industrial revolution we're talking about. Okay, the truth is this: the fourth industrial revolution is here to stay. It's going to bring a lot of change in the way we do things. A lot of change. It's going to impact how we do things a lot. Okay, just the way the new normality, just the way COVID-19 has changed the way we're doing things. Okay, and technology is driving that change, right? Technology is driving that change. The same way, of course, fourth industrial revolution talks about this is all about technology. Okay, that's why I'm merging the two together. Okay, this technology is going to affect how we respond, okay, to these technologies, or how we use this technology to respond to the new normality that we have. We determine how your organization will function. All right. Let me move. Okay, so I've been talking about how these two, okay, merge, how they come together. Okay, it is all the talk about technology. It is all about how technology is changing the way we do things. Okay, the new normality is here to stay with us. Okay, we talked about how what normal means. Okay, talked about expectation, talked about standard. Okay, it's changed now. The standard of doing work has changed. Okay, it has changed. And what is driving it? Okay, what is the context around now? We're still going to talk about all the context and all that later. Okay, now these things have changed. Let me give you an example. Pinchar, that's the CEO of Google. Okay, he came out and he said, "See, employee will work from home until July 2021. Employees will work from home until July 2021. Let me ask, how are they going to work? How will they work? They will work. How will they work? How will they communicate? How will they collaborate? Okay, remember we have issues like PII. Okay, personally identifiable information that you have to be careful with. Okay, companies can get sued. I mean, sued if personal information of their customers get leaked. I'm talking about millions of dollars. We all remember what happened to Microsoft. Okay, these are the things that we need to be careful with when we're talking about remote working. We're talking about working from home. Okay, technology has a way of ensuring, that's why we talk about cyber security in the fourth industrial revolution. Okay, Google say go work at home until July 2021. Tells you what technology is going to do. Okay, we're talking about the new norm and the fourth industrial revolution collaborating. Okay, we're talking about the fourth industrial revolution in the real sense of it, okay, influencing and supporting the move into the new norm. Okay, and the truth is this, I will say it again, because see, no matter how the big words that we talk about is, it still comes to this fact. Okay, it boils down to this fact. What will you do in your space? You say that, oh, I'm just an HR officer. If you understand these things, have conversation with your HR manager. Go sit with your HR director and say, sir, there's this thing I've been reading about of late. Okay, pitch your idea. Somebody taught me something some time ago, and he said, see, it really doesn't matter who takes the praise, so far as so far as my idea is being implemented. Sometimes that is what is important. I mean, the place of praise is another conversation entirely. I'm not talking about that. Okay, go to your boss, talk to your boss, have this conversation. Okay, in your little way, you are making changes. When you sit at meetings, talk about these things. Okay, we need to make the move, whether we like it or not. I'm still going to get there. Okay, I'm still going to get there. Okay, now, Jack Dorsey, that's the CEO of Twitter. He said, employee, I like the way he put it. He said employees can continue to work from home forever. Ah, that's interesting, isn't it? You can continue, but of course, it's not by force. Okay, it's voluntary. That tells you something that we are moving. Okay, things will not always continue to be the way they are. Okay, I know. So we need to move. We really need to move. We need to start having some conversations. Okay, these things are going to impact employees. Okay, I mean, the context will change. We'll still talk about that. I mentioned earlier. Okay, what should we be doing? Mark of Facebook, Zuckerberg, he said, by 2025, I guess, was it 2025 or so? He said 50% of the entire workforce of Google will be working from home. Yeah, about 50,000 people times 25,000 will be working from home. Hello. Can you imagine that? I mean, this is here already. Okay. Some people that predicted these things earlier, you know what they're now saying? If you go online and you read, they'll say, I said so. I said so. Look at it, it's happening. Okay. But the truth is, most of us didn't prepare for it. Okay. But the tech giants are making the move already. And we know that when tech moves, every other thing will move, whether we like it sooner or later. Every other aspect will move. Okay, I work in the tech space. Okay, so maybe by bias. Okay, and things are going to move, and that is the truth. Okay, and is that 50% work from home? Now, let me tell you what Mark did. He added a clause. He said, "See, I know that was it Mark or Jack? Twitter or Facebook. Now, one of them said that. See, I know that when I say work from home, some of you, yeah, that's Mark. Some of you are going to change your location where you are, move away from California, go to cheaper locations, so that you can save costs. You know what he said? If you move to a low cost area, we are going to adjust salary based on your location. Now, you can see that you can see that HR needs to have a conversation, needs to come into that space and have some kind of conversation. Okay. Now, are we going to pay people based on where they stay, or we're going to pay people based on what we have set as our compensation standard? Okay, HR needs to pick that conversation up and have it. Okay, he has said that he's going to pay people based on if you move to another place, you need to be sincere with it. You need to tell your line manager, and then we adjust your salary based on that. Okay, now HR needs to come into that and have a conversation. Okay, I like what another company that is moving. Okay, I mean, we heard what Siemens said just a few days ago. Roland, I think that's the name of the CEO, Roland Bosch or so. Okay, see, he said that right now, what matters to us is not the number of hours that our employee works. Okay, it is what they deliver. If we require XYZ from you, and you deliver XYZ, which is in your contract, we know what we know. We all, I mean, some of us you understand the social contract. Okay, that is built on trust. Okay, if we say that you work this number of hours, we say that this is what we need to do deliver, and there is it's clear. Okay, and you deliver it. When the number of hours you spend really doesn't matter to us. Okay, now they are building a corporate culture that way. Okay, and it is going to position that company as as a company of choice for talents. Okay, and that's the truth. Okay, and they're saying that, see, we trust you. That's what Siemens is saying. He said we trust you enough, to be able to do what we need you to do. We're going to empower you. We'll give you what you need. Okay, we just need you to deliver. All right, how will they deliver? Technology. Okay, what is just happening to us? Let me say this. What is happening is that COVID-19, that usher in what we all call the new norm, is opening our eyes to see the uses, the reality, the impact, or what the fourth industrial revolution is doing in the workplace. And we just need to see it. Because we've actually not taken time to see this thing. This is fourth industrial revolution happening already, right now. This is not the third industrial revolution. Okay, in fact, some companies in Nigeria are actually running this like this. Okay, employees are working from home, they are collaborating, personally identifiable information are kept safe, they use cloud computing to do all of these. People are still able to collaborate and deliver on results. Fourth industrial revolution. Okay, it might still be basic, but that's what it is. Although some are doing it in a very high way. Okay, so we need to make the move. And that is the truth. Okay. And see, the reality for the workplace, okay, is we mentioned earlier that some work are going to change. So what we do, we change. Okay. How we do this work, we change. Okay. And the context around work, I'll give you an instance. Usually you would come to work and you come to work, there is a printer there, there is a breakout session that, you could go to, right? Breakout session is there where you sit down and gist with your friends. The context of work has changed already. Okay, the context of work has changed already. Okay, the environment around you, it has changed. Okay, how we deliver on the things we do has also changed. Okay, before now in my organization, you come in to do assessment, to do interview. Right now, we have 6 lines of business where I work. 3 of the line of business, everything happens remotely. 3 of the line of business, a particular process in the equipment happens on site. Okay, and there are people that we recruited during the COVID-19. We didn't see them until they resume. I recruited somebody in my team, and I actually didn't see her until after 2 months. 2 months or 3 months. She resumed in April. I think the first time I saw her was in July or late June. Okay, and she said she has never had the kind of onboarding experience that she had with us. That it was super, and I did not see her. You can just imagine. Okay, everything that we did, okay, happened remotely. She just went, picked up the system, and that was it. Okay, these things are here with us already. There is a new reality for the workplace. Okay, HR need to start thinking what we need to do. We're going to talk about all those things. Okay, what we need to do. And see, there is the big talk around the new norm. Okay, that I was talking about. Say, you either watch it happen or you define it. Now, the new norm for your organization, okay, will be how you define that new norm. Let me say it this way. Companies would define their new norm by how they respond to what is happening right now. Now, the World Economic Forum, if you go on their website, the same thing they are saying. EYQ is the think tank for Ernst & Young, right? Both of them are saying the same thing. Okay, and the truth is, how you respond, how your organization respond, okay, will be different from how mine will respond. Okay, it is in defining, it is in our response that it defines our new norm. So the new norm will now become different. The standard, remember earlier when we started, we talked about normal talks about expectations, about standard of things. Okay, so the standard of doing things expectations within your organization, right from hiring to onboarding to engagement, managing the staff, L&D, and all that in that space, the standard, okay, will be changed by how you respond. So each organization will define how it will define their new normal by how they respond. So the question is this: how are you responding? Or how will you respond? That's the question. Okay, if you don't, what I want to pick now is what I'm picking now is just is about our response, okay, to this period. We are not going to have the same new normal, and that's the truth. We're not going to have the same standard because our organizations are different. That's the truth. That's why I said that when it gets to HR, okay, I'm going to talk at high level, okay, because I can't tell you specifically. I don't know the realities of your organization. I will talk at a very high level. Then bring it home to yourself. How? Okay, do I respond? How do we respond? That is the question. It is how do we respond? How do we define our new normality? You need to define your new normality. And how you define it is by how you respond to what we have right now. See, the truth is this, okay? We all know what is happening with COVID-19 vaccination. Okay, some of us know, if you read very well, you will know that there's a vaccine that is in the fourth stage of testing right now. Do a little scary for me. It's a little scary, because of what that vaccine is going to do. If you take the vaccine, it's going to attach itself to your genes, okay, and then it's going to, in the long run, okay, it will alter, the genetic makeup of humans, okay, but we're not talking about COVID-19 vaccination. Okay, that's why you are in Nigeria and why some people flare up during when they were talking about the legalization of the vaccine and all that back then. Okay, it's because of this kind of thing. Okay, because see, if you take that kind of vaccine, it just means that when you look at the human nature, or humanity in the next few years, some things would have changed. Okay, that is the vaccine we're talking about. But that's not what I'm talking about. We're talking about right here. Let's go back to our topic, right? So it is all about how you respond. Now, for Google is already responding, right? Twitter is already responding. Okay, Siemens is already responding. Microsoft is responding. Okay, companies are responding. They are not responding the same way if you take a look at it, because their business models differ. Of course, business models will also change. Definitely, business model will also change in this new normal. So as you're changing your business model, as you're changing how you do things, okay, at some point, you won't just change how you do things. You might change what you do one way or the other. Okay, as you do these things, remember, context will also change. Okay, the context around work, context of work will also change. Okay, when you do all these things, you are defining new normal for your organization. That is why I keep saying, okay, we need to have some conversations within our organization. We can't underemphasize, I can't talk about it enough. Okay, because these are the things that we need to pay attention to. Whatever the company is doing is going to affect the people. Okay, and remember when I was talking about the first industrial revolution, I talked about Charles and Owen, these two guys, what they concluded in their study is still what we are doing now in HR. And that is that humans are important to organization success. Okay, and that means that whatever the organization is going to do, the people that deliver shareholders' money, okay, needs to be put into consideration. Okay, and if the people need to be put into consideration, then the people officers, okay, that is you and I, needs to champion some conversations. Okay, businesses are going to look at their own bottom line. Okay, we know the balance scorecard, how it all goes round. Okay, then we need to let business know that yes, bottom line is extremely important, or the people that will deliver it, okay, need to be put into consideration. Okay, when you talk about that, then you now talk about the business process. Okay, and then it goes back, it goes to the shareholder, the balance scorecard triangle. Okay, so these are the things that we need to do. We need to have conversation. Okay, we need to define what our new normal is. New normal will not be the same. It will not be the same for all organizations. Okay, so we talk about the new normal at high level where, oh, everybody goes home. Okay, we can no longer, there's now social distancing. So we stay 2 meters apart. Okay, face mask, nose mask is the reality. Okay, new normal, general. In the workplace, okay, we can no longer come to the office full capacity. All right, okay, just to keep our employees safe, let them go work from home. Okay, general, new normality. But for you, how will you define your work from home? How will it affect your performance management? I know we talked about these things in this program already. Performance management during this period. Okay, how will you engage your staff? Okay, you need to define at every level, okay, of the HR value chain. Okay, you need to define what your new normal would be. Okay, we can't just sit down and say, just go and work from home. Okay, you go and work from home. So when we work from home, what happens? So we need to define what that new norm will be for our organization. This is what every single one of us has got to do. Okay, so let's look at some things. Let's look at some things so that we can take questions. I'm just going to go through some things and then probably we wrap up there and then we can take questions if you have questions. Okay. Okay, we talk about the context is going to change. We talk about that. So we explore this. Okay, so what do we need to be doing as HR professionals? What conversations do we need to start having as HR professionals? Okay, I decided to put this first because the employee assistance program, employee wellness. Now, I put it first because at the heart of every employee, safety is key. A lot of fear. In fact, some people don't even want to come back to work because they are afraid. They are afraid of COVID-19. I mean, a lot of fears. People are looking at the figures, the way it is jumping up. I look at the stats and, the globe hit its first 1 million. I think in 3 months, between 3 and 4 months. And the last million that we encountered, or the next million, was about 2 or 3 weeks. You can imagine how scary that is, right? If we hit the first million in 3 months and the next million in less than 3 weeks, you know what that is. So people are looking at the figures and they are scared. Okay, what do we do? Now we need to marshal line managers to talk to their staff to understand how we can support them. Because at this point, employee assistance program can no longer be generic. It has to be specific to what your employees are saying. Run surveys, get the pulse. Okay, let's see, what do people actually want at this time? Okay, you see some people that you ask to go home to work, they cannot concentrate because children are at home. They still need to support them to learn at home, and they still need to be at meetings. I can't count the number of meetings I do per day. Okay, and so you have to look at this. Okay, so children are home, so we need to look at what kind of employee assistance do we want to put in place. We have to be strategic about it. Oh, okay. Do we want to say, okay, okay, what before you set up calls, what time do you think will be convenient for you? Okay, it can be anything, but we need to get a pause. Okay, how can we assist employees? Okay, what wellness program do we need to put in place? Okay, these two employee assistance program, employee wellness, I think the convergence that they have has to do with health of the employee. Okay, and in this new norm, or what brought the new norm that we're talking about, has to do with health. Okay, so you can imagine how important this is. Okay, ask your employees, what are your fears? Okay, don't just come and say, oh, all of you are doing this. Okay, let's get, and probably this is the point to bring up what we call management by objective. Okay, we know what we need to deliver. How do you guys think we can deliver it? Oh, okay, we set it. That makes sense. Okay, now we've said how we need to deliver it. These are the challenges that we have. Okay, do you think you guys can come to work 3 times in a week? What do you think? You'll be surprised that some employees are grateful to come to work 3 times in a week. Oh, I'm not going every day. Oh, that's fine. I can do 3 times in a week. Suggest this. Okay, hear from them. Okay, and what you hear will inform, the kind of EAP or employee wellness you put in place. Okay, it is extremely important. Safety first. Okay, safety. My friend, my country manager, when he sends out mail, would always say that, guys, one thing that is important to us as business is your safety. Okay, when he says that, I don't know how other employees feel, but for me, it feels like, oh, nice. Okay, think of my safety. I'm glad. Really. Okay, and he puts that in his communication every time he's sending an email to us. Okay, just making us see that, see, guys, yes, we're here to make money. We will make the money, of course, but your health comes first. Okay, so he keeps saying it: safety, 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 your family safety, your family safety. These are the things, when we put it in our communication to our employees, okay, it settles their mind that these guys are actually thinking of me. And we need to do that. Okay, it settles their mind psychologically, they're settled. And when they do that, okay, these guys are thinking of me, they better perform. And that's the truth. They perform better. And these are the conversations we want to start having. Okay, how do I engage my guys? How do I engage them? Okay, to know what they need. We need to do that. I'm talking at a higher level, at a very high level. But within your firm, you know where you work. Okay, now you start thinking about it. What do I do? How do I put this in place? Okay, I said earlier, you're not in a position to do that. Go talk to your boss. Share the idea. Boss, I was just thinking about something, or I was in a lecture where we talk about this thing. What is that, boss? What do you think we can do? I call my boss. I call my upline. I call him boss. Just for laughs. Okay, and it is not in Nigeria. It just goes and says, well, the XYZ, the XYZ. So we can go have these conversations, right? Remember, my reality, as it were, is defined by how I respond. Okay, how I respond is a function of how I begin to have these conversations. Okay, and you need to have these conversations in your space, no matter where you are, irrespective. You need to have these conversations. Okay, so of course, when we talk about EAP, we talk about work-life balance, finance and debt, family and care issue. All these things, they may not be the focus at this time. Okay, just talk to your people. Okay. All right. I like this. L&D. Remember, we're still talking about the new norm, fourth industrial revolution, and HR. Okay. But now I decided to pick what HR should be doing at this time from first employee wellness point of view. Okay. From taking care of are the employees, because hey, if they are not in the right frame of mind, come on, you can imagine how it will affect their productivity, right? And then I'm going into L&D right now, okay? And what do we need to be doing? We need to, remember we talked about the fourth industrial revolution, okay? How it will support, how it will enhance, okay, your response to the new norm. And it basically talks about technology. And we talked earlier that a lot of work would change. Okay. Let's take, for instance, to make it, let's bring it home. Okay. We talked about Google, Netflix earlier. I said Netflix will look at the kind of movies you've watched and they will suggest to you the movie you should watch. If you notice on Google, when you are typing a question, it will suggest to you what you are typing, what you want to type. And sometimes we just don't let me say ignorantly, we just click on it, because we're like, oh, it's correct. Now, how does Google know what you want to type? Okay, because of over time, Google have studied your habits using artificial intelligence. Study your habits, and then know the likely things you could do or questions you could ask. That's how it is. Okay, study the likely questions you could ask, and then the same way, if companies like Jumia, they do targeted ad. How do they do targeted ad? They look at the things that you have bought over time, and then they will say, shoe, I like to buy shoes a lot. So each time I get on maybe Instagram and I'm seeing Jumia ad, it is shoes that I will be seeing, and things that I buy a lot. Okay. They are doing targeted ads. Remember, I say a lot of work will change. I'm going there. Okay. We talk about bots, BOTs. Okay. Normally, customer service will have done A, or would have picked up a call and called the customer service. Hey, hello. And they come and say, hello, how may I help you? But bots are already doing that. Okay. Work will change. Okay. And then, even the people that do marketing, some kind of marketing is changing. You see what I talk about for Jumia, even like companies like Nestle, they're already doing it. Okay, they suggest to you, okay, what to buy because they look at your shopping pattern and they suggest to you. Okay, I mean, tells you that some jobs will change. We change. Okay, marketing will not be until before now. Marketing is you go out or just on TV, but right now it is right there on the internet because remember, Internet of Things, connection of this, the big data thing that we talk about the fourth industrial revolution, everything is working out. We can see them in play. So we need to look at these things holistically and see how they work, how they will change or how they are changing what is happening. Now, before in HR, we would do what we call cold calling. Not even HR, marketing, they do cold calling. Okay, do I need to do cold calling when I know what you usually buy? My SEO will do it for me and digital marketing, and then I just push to you online. Very simple. I look at the site my target audience are usually on, and then I go to that place, I pay them, and then push this ad to these people that have this to this demography. Very simple. And then we're seeing a lot of online buyings as a result of that. Okay, fourth industrial revolution. Okay, jobs are changing. From the end of L&D, the first thing we need to do is we need to educate our people. We need to educate our people. This one is not reskilling, it's not upskilling. We need to educate our people about what is happening. When people understand that, see, true, whether sooner or later, things are going to change, jobs are going to change, context around work, even if we're not implementing it right now, are going to change. We need to let them know, educate them, let them have the information. Okay, see, we need to let them know. A lot of people are not even aware that these things are going to happen. Okay, so we need to let them know. We need to share, we need to let them know that, see, We may not be, effecting these things now because of X, Y, Z constraint that we have, but that is where we are going to. Okay, that is where we are going to. So they have a sense, so they know that, okay, and then let them know the kind of skills that will be needed. You'll be surprised that people will start upskilling themselves when they know what's happening. Okay, and of course, from the L&D perspective of HR, we need to upskill our people. Okay, all right, this is what you used to do now. Okay, now you need to work from home. We need to let you know how to really do that well. So you want to upskill your people on, you want to upskill your managers on how to coach remotely, right? They're used to sitting in front of the people. I mean, I was used to doing it. I was sitting in front of maybe one of my guys and, we're gisting, but now it's not the same. I can't see the person. I'm not seeing the person. Sometimes we're not doing video calls. Okay, sometimes we're not doing video calls. And I need to coach this person. Okay, and I had to try and take a course on having effective virtual communication. I upskilled myself. Okay, L&D function in HR, we need to know within your organization, mind you, okay, we need to know the need to upskill our people. Okay, I mean, adding more to the skills that they have. Okay, and then when we talk about reskilling, okay, change is happening very, very fast. Nobody knew, nobody had an idea. This time last year, December, even December, nobody had an idea that there was going to be a global shutdown. Nobody. Such change at such speed happened. Global shutdown. We had to, remember what I say, mass exodus, work from home. Okay. And with the fourth industrial revolution, technology is going to take over. Some skills will no longer be needed. And that's the truth. We need to reskill our people. Extremely critical in this stage. We need to reskill our people. When changes are happening at such a fast pace, reskilling of the workforce is extremely important. So that is what we need to start doing at this point. Okay, look into your organization and say, if the fourth industrial revolution is to happen right now, or we are to implement the fourth industrial revolution technologies in my organization right now, what skills will become obsolete immediately? Okay, if you know, who are the people that this would affect? Okay, I mean, what you could think about, first of all, would be, okay, maybe since they will not be used, they will no longer be useful, and then we let them go. Now, the truth of the matter is this. Okay, I told you about, the meeting I went to, at Deloitte. Okay, some jobs, I mean, it will lead to loss of job one way or the other. That is the truth. Okay, it will lead to, the loss of job one way or the other. But the truth of the matter is this: it will lead to the creation of some other kind of job. Skills will just be different, right? These people that understand your business before now, why not reskill them to become useful when that change happens? This is what we need to do. We educate them on the importance of what is going to happen, right? For the new non-work from home guys, there's some upskilling that we need to do. Even in the fourth industrial revolution, there's some skills that you just need to, upgrade. Some people understand data analytics, all right, but they need to move into, the big data space. So for them, it is upskilling, okay, that they need to do, okay, because the tools you use for data analysis won't do it for big data. The tool is just going to crash. And that's the truth. So for those set of people, all you need to do is upskill them. Okay. For people that knows nothing about it, that's where reskilling now comes from. Okay. But remember, it starts from educating the people on, because if they do not see the need, even if you try to upskill, it won't make sense. If you try to reskill, you're wasting your time. So we need to upskill, we need to educate our workforce, and people that need upskilling, we upskill. People that need to be reskilled, we need to do that. Change is happening very, very fast, right? And then I'm going to talk about, the talent acquisition space, for just a little while, and what we need to be doing in that space. Okay. Now, how in this time that we have, how we attract needs to change. I'll tell you for sure. Okay. Number one, talent. Let's talk talent. You just talk candidates. I mean, we know that a lot of people have lost their jobs. Sure. Right? In the US, within the lockdown, even though a lot of people lost their job, there was still about 5.2 million people that got recruited during the lockdown. Yeah. Okay. So, but of course, a lot more lost their jobs. Okay. Now, when you are attracting talent at this time, I mean, you should note that people will now be more reluctant, right, to leave where they are presently working. People will be much more reluctant to leave where they are presently working. All right. So how do you attract them? What do you need to do to attract them? The first thing I would say is this: as talent acquisition specialist, right? First thing we need to sit down with marketing to craft the communication. Okay, market. You can't leave the whole the whole marketing communication in the recruitment process to the marketing team. I mean, lucky for you if you have a marketing team that helps with your recruitment marketing. Okay, if you do not, I mean, what it means as a talent acquisition person is that you're the one that define your talent marketing communication. You're the one that also push it out. Okay, maybe on your career websites or anyhow you want to, any way you're pushing it out. Okay, and lucky you if you have a recruitment marketing team, right? You have a marketing team that helps you with that. You don't leave the whole thing to them. No, you need to sit down with them. We need to sit down with them and craft the message together. Now, what message should you be passing? Remember, people will be more reluctant to move in this age, in this period. Okay, what can you push? One, push how stable your organization is. If an employee, if a talent sees that, okay, this organization is stable, okay, during the period, COVID-19 period, this is how they fared, these are the things that you push out in your marketing communication strategy to the candidates. Okay, you need to push it out. Okay, so we are a stable organization. During the COVID-19 period, we recruited this number of persons. Our operations was not impacted. This is how we're able to deliver. You look at them like, if you guys could do this during this period, how much more when there is no, okay, it's a good place to work. Okay, you need to push how stable your organization is. And then in this period where people, remember the first thing I talked about, wellness, people are afraid, okay, to come to work, as it were, come to a physical workplace. Okay, we need to push, flex time. We need to push remote working. These are the things we need to involve in how we attract our candidates. Okay, we need to push all these things in our communication, in our marketing communication to the talent. Okay, okay, the place is stable, nice, but must I go to work every day? You look at it and say, oh, they give me the remote working option, and then I have flex time. I can come to work 2 or 3 times in a week. That looks good. Plus, they are stable. What am I waiting for? I'm going to apply. Okay, this is how you attract in this time. Okay, and another thing you need to start thinking of is to have a talent community. Okay, what this helps you to do is that it is not when you have a recruitment need that you start looking for candidates. You need to have a community of talent candidates, okay, that are your audience any day, anytime. That is from where you pick to recruit. Okay, how do you do that? What are you doing with your career pages? Okay, maximize them. Okay, put content there. Engage your candidate. Engage these talents. You know, they need engagement. Send them messages. Let them know what is happening in your organization. Engage them. Have a talent community. Okay, so use your career page. Use email marketing. Let them know what you're doing. Know that you have an audience. Okay, in my organization, I mean, you know what we do. Of course, you know, we push out. Sometimes we just push out, you know, email marketing to people. We let them know what is happening at TechSpark. Okay, and of course, from the CRM that I use, you know, I can see when a candidate opens my email. Okay, this person has opened my email. I can see. Okay, right from my CRM tool, you know, the tool we use is both ATS and CRM together. So I can see when the person opens, you know, I say, oh, okay, this person has opened my mail. Okay, nice. Okay, so you engage them. You know, beyond using your career page and email marketing, what another thing you can do is use events. Okay, you don't need to do a physical event. You really don't need to do a physical event. Okay, have an online event. Okay, you want to do it on Instagram, you want to do it on Twitter, you want to do it on Zoom, on Skype, however you want to do it. Okay, engage your talent community. All right, you will be surprised that the people you are engaging may not eventually be the people that will apply, or let me say that you will hire. They might be the ones that will refer candidates to come apply. Right? So you need to do that. Do events. Use your career pages. Use email marketing. Okay, engage your talent community. You know, these are the things that we need to, we need to do to attract candidates, and then to also build our talent community. Extremely important. Talent attracting candidates, and then when you've attracted them, the entire process. Technology. Okay, during the recruitment process, gamification is there. Don't bore them with the usual monotonous, go through the process and all that. You know, we talk about fourth industrial revolution. That's what we're talking about. That is going to drive this new norm. Okay, and remember that when we're talking about driving new norm, is about how you respond. Your new norm will be different from mine, because how you respond, is what defines your new norm. Okay, and then when we talk about talent, about recruitment right now, or talent acquisition, what we can do, you can use technology. Depends on how you're going to do it. Okay, depends on your business model. Depends on where your company is going to. Okay, I use an example of my company as an example. We want to triple our headcount by 2025. Okay, that will mean that we need to be able to do that. You need to increase headcount in the TA function. Okay, but there are other means that we can use. Okay, there are other means that we can use. Okay, what we can use is we can use gamification. We can go digital technology. Okay, I mean, use different ways to get this done. Okay, technology has a way of, I told you of the people we hired without even seeing them until they came to pick their work tools. In some countries, we deliver, you can even deliver the work tools to their home. Okay, we need to do this. Now, time is fast spent. I need to just rush a little bit right now. So, so I talk about employee awareness. I talk about L&D. Now talent acquisition. And so let me just do this, okay? And then I'm just wrap up, and then we're done. We can take questions. Okay, what do we need to do? We need to trust our employee. Okay, and that is a big word. That is a very big word. Okay, trust. Trust is earned, right? But we can dare to trust our employees. You. Okay, as you trust them, just trust them and say, oh, don't worry, I know we deliver, and then you leave them. No, Okay, you need to empower them with what they need. Okay, this is the X and Y, Z things that you need to deliver on. Okay, this is the timeline. Very clear expectations. Set them. Let them be very clear, explicit, very clear. Okay, empower them with the tools that they need. Okay, when you do that and you support them, you can sure look at that. You let them know the goals, see the attitude. You give them ideas. Success is guaranteed. You can see performance at 100% when you empower your employee. Okay, let's do that. Engage them while they're doing their job. Hey, hi, Tiger, what's up? How is your work? It's going good. Need any support? What do you need me to do for you? Are you sure you don't need any support? Okay, what's up? What is this stakeholder doing? Are you, engage them, talk to them, communicate. If they need coaching, coach. If they need mentoring, mentor. Okay, you can't just, and see, it is HR that need to let management know or leadership know that employees can be trusted. The kind of empowerment that we do, how we engage, needs to be channeled by HR. Okay, these are the things that we need to, continue to do in this. I mean, start for some, for some, there's some things that we're doing that we need to stop. For some, there's something that we're doing right now that we need to continue. Start, stop, continue, right? We need to write them out. There's no time for, there's no you need to, you're doing that you need to continue. You can write them if you can write them in the chat box. There's some things that you're not doing right now that you need to start, that you've learned from here. There's something that you are doing that you really need to continue. Okay, when you attend a session like this, you should have your start, stop, continue. Okay, that you need to write out. If you can drop some in the chat box, it would be nice. Let's see. Okay, what are your start, stop, and continue that you need to take note? All right, so let's do a little recap of what we have talked about today. We've talked about the new normality, the new normal, and its realities. Okay, the truth is this: things will really not go back the way they used to be. We all know that right now. We won't go back entirely to the way they used to be. Okay, and things will not continue to be 100% remote. What we will have will be a blend. That's why we talk about flex time. Okay, we talk about the new normal, and we talk about the fourth industrial revolution and its reality. Okay, and we talk about how the fourth industrial revolution, how technology, let's just make it clear, how technology, okay, is going to drive the new normality. Okay, and then your new normality, okay, is how you respond to the new norm using the fourth industrial revolution or using technology. Okay, I'm just trying to summarize. Okay, and then we talked about what conversations HR needs to start having, okay, in this new space that we have. All right. Thank you. Do we have any questions? I am done. Thank you. Questions, comments. Let's take some, please. Let's take some. Jide, you want to take this, or I should just go into the chat box? You want to?
Thank you very much. I'll take them. Thank you for that insightful session. Okay, I'm expecting questions now. Please send in your questions using the Q&A session. Yes, let's, if you got value from that session, please show some appreciation to the speaker, Lawale. Let me see your applause. You can also share some of the things that your eyes will open up to, some of the things that you learned here, and maybe what you do going back to work. So let's get some feedback. Let's see your comments in the chat session. And also let's, if you have any questions, please use the Q&A feature and let's get in your questions. For those watching on YouTube, you can send in your questions via the chat box as well. We'll be able to read them out here and then take them. So Juliet says, good morning all. This is another thought-provoking session. I just feel Olawale should continue. We, the HR practitioners, have a great lot of work to do on our employees. A great question for us all. Are we living up to our standards? Yeah, so really thought-provoking, like he mentioned, is going to be speaking high level is for us to now go back to our places to think it through, see, examine our reality, and then define what the new normal is there. So very thought-provoking session, really. Yeah, truly, technology is the way to go in the new normal. Exactly. Motola says, I love the start, stop, continue bits. It also speaks to the new things we need to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Exactly. Thank you for your comments. As usual, people will be asking for the slides, but don't worry. Like I always reiterate, I speak to all the speakers. Once I get the permission, trust me, you get all the slides. You get a mail probably on Monday with a link to access all the presentations for the previous sessions from last week to yesterday and today. For as many speakers that share that with us, we'll send it to you. Adedoyin says, quite interesting, insightful, and impactful. Thank you very much. Please let us know specifically the things that you've taken away.
Okay, Jide, I'm seeing some questions in the question and answer session. This thing, are you seeing them?
Just still taking reactions. So this session has really changed my thoughts on engaging my team properly. Thank you very much for your feedback. Let's go into the questions now. Oluyemisi is asking, engaging your talent community was quite insightful. Yeah, I agree. Can you discuss further on other things aside sending them emails that we can do?
Okay. Probably she didn't hear when I mentioned. Okay. I talked about I think about 3 things that you can do. I talked about 3 things. The first thing I talked about was using your career page, okay, to engage your talent community. Okay, push out thought-provoking write-ups. Okay, I mean, you know your audience, you know your talent community, you know the kind of people you hire within your organization. So what you need to do is you need to put up, you need to come up with insights, okay? Insights. You need to come up with write-ups that address them, okay? Such that you keep them engaged. You keep them coming to read, you know, in your space. Okay, that's what you do. So I talked about using your career page. Okay, the second thing I talked about was the email marketing bit, and then the third thing I talked about was doing events online. Okay, you can actually do events online, and you know, you bring them together, people from everywhere, you know, join in. I said you can use Instagram Live, you can use Zoom, you can use Skype. Okay, you can use Teams, whatever tool you use. Okay, you can get them engaged. Okay, and that's what you do. Okay, so these are 3 strategies, 3 things you can use to engage your talent community.
Okay, thank you very much for that answer. Obaseki is asking, what is your opinion on aligning technology to business strategy?
Okay, aligning technology to business strategy. Okay, now let's say, now if you notice, I keep saying this, right? That your reality in this new normal will differ from mine. Okay, and it will be different because it will depend on your business model. It will depend on your organization strategy. Okay, what you're doing right now, or what you guys want to achieve in the next 5 years. Okay, and you remember I mentioned that, like, in my organization, this is what we want to do in the next 5 years. Okay, and what we are putting in place. Okay, we're going digital. We are going digital. We're going digital. Let me put it. We are going digital, and that's just what we are doing. Okay. Now, for us, that's how we are. And of course, I may not be able to give you details. Okay, but everything we are doing, right from our recruitment to onboarding to people engagement to offboarding, is digital. Okay, that is how we are aligning technology to business, our business strategy. Okay, for you, it will be different. It may be different. It will depend on your business strategy. Okay, so if you say, okay, oh, this is my business strategy, what do you think we can do? We cannot start thinking about it together. We cannot start looking at it. Okay, but you know, so that's an example. Okay, given what we're doing at my workplace right now. Okay, now can we comment on? Okay, Jide, that's all.
No, that's a follow-up on his question as well. That comment on people-centric technology as HR leads this fourth industrial revolution discussions. So it's
Okay.
from the same things. It's a follow-up.
Okay. Okay. Now people-centric technology as HR leads. Let me look at that question again. Now, we say comment on people-centric technology as people, as HR lead this technology. Okay, see, really, now people-centric technology actually talks about technology that puts people at the heart of what it does. Okay, really. And see, I don't want to go back to saying that it will depend on what you're doing. Like now I want to be careful about the details I give because I'm not the spokesman of my company. So I'm careful about the details I give, right? See, technology is here to stay, right? And depending on what you do, okay, it will inform how you are going to put technology to use in your organization. Okay, Teams that we are using today, Zoom that we are using right now, okay, it is just about using technology for business, okay, and that you can imagine how people-centric that is on its own, okay. So it still boils down to what you're doing, okay. Really, it boils down to what you're doing. Technology is here to stay. It is 100% here to stay. So yes.
Okay, thank you for that response. Please, can any more questions? Let me go whether there's any question in the chat on YouTube. Okay. Okay, Bumi says this is really an eye-opener to how to engage employee during this period. Yes, it is. Thank you again, Olawale, for sharing. Thank you for the thought-provoking presentation. And like you said, just to reiterate what you said, it's for us to go back to our different workplaces to start this conversation. Let's even start there before we start making awesome changes. Let's even start the conversation. And depending on our reality and the business strategy, then we can now start making little changes here and there to drive so that we don't get left behind this in this new norm, as it were. So thank you again for sharing.
Thank you.
Waiting a few more minutes to take questions. If there are any questions, please send them in. Again, take note of the attendance code for this session. And then again, just to reiterate this, if you want access to the recorded replays of all these 30 sessions during this program, that's available at a fee at the end of this program, just for a little fee of 15,000. So I got a message from someone that mentioned that. So I think the detailed information about that is in your welcome mail. For those that are doing the recertification, once you're paying to get the recertification, automatically you're going to get the replays of all the sessions. It's part of the benefits, amongst other benefits. So please take note of that. Our next session will be in by 12 noon. We're going to be looking at retaining and developing top talent by Emmanuel Abegunde. That will be starting in over an hour from now by 12 noon West African time. Okay, there's a question here from Wumi. She says, can you please read? I think that's, can you please reiterate on EAP? My internet was crappy. Okay. Olawale.
Okay. All right. So when I talk about EAP, okay, EAP means Employee Assistance Program. Okay, and I talk about it together alongside employee wellness. Okay, and that was the first thing I mentioned as one of the things HR needs to be doing at this point in time. And I said I intentionally mentioned it first because we are pushed into this new normal, as it were, because of a health challenge. Okay, we had COVID, we have COVID-19. Okay, that is changing how we do things. All right, so that's why I started with EAP and employee wellness. And I mentioned that, see, EAP, I mentioned the examples of EAP, what EAP is, actually the different activities of EAP. I said, work-life balance, is an example of EAP. Helping employees with their finance and debt is an example of EAP. Helping them with their family, caring thing issues. Those are examples of EAP. And I mentioned that, see, in this period, it won't really not be business as usual, okay? Because you need to engage with your employees to know the exact things that they need. You need to get the pulse, okay, of your employees to know how they are faring in this period. Okay, when you get that, you cannot decide, okay, this is the kind of employee of EAP or employee wellness that we need to put together, program that we need to put together, right? I mentioned that use the line managers, okay? Let them engage their staff. Let them tell us what it is that they need us to help them with. Okay, what are they struggling with at this time? Okay, so these are things that you can do. These are, as I mentioned, that it will be different from another organization. So it is from the responses that you get. Okay, that you now say that, okay, this is what I'm getting from my employees. This is what I need to do. Right now, if you stay in Lagos, Third Mainland Bridge has been closed. Okay, some employees are clamoring for, okay, we have staff bus right now. Can we do both for people that are staying in Ikorodu? To the island. All right. This is an example of EAP at this time. The buses are crowded, different questions are being said, things are being said. How can we come in at this time? Okay, so this is the conversation that we should be having with our employees. Okay, when we do a survey, when the line managers engage them, okay, they will come back to us with their feedback. We take the feedback, we take the survey, we analyze it, and then we can now make decision on the kind of EAP and employee awareness program we should be putting in place, basically. Yeah, thank you. I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Yes, I think so. Okay. I think that's the last question. Any more questions before we round up this session? Okay, Vivian, please send us a mail. But again, at the beginning of every session and the end of every session, I'd like to reiterate, please take note of the attendance code. We would not be sending out attendance codes personally to anybody. So please, if you're looking to get that, please stay to the end. At the end of every session, the attendance code is usually shared on the screen. So please take note of it. But Vivian, you can send us a mail concerning yesterday's session. Okay, if that will be all. Thank you again, Olawale. Thank you for your time this morning. Thank you for joining. Thank you to everyone that joined this session. The next session will be starting by 12 noon. We're looking forward to having you on that session. We'll be looking at retaining and developing top talents, to be taken by Emmanuel Abegunde. Thank you once again. See you all by 12 noon. And please invite someone that you think might benefit from this program. You can share the Zoom link or the YouTube link. Let's have a great learning session again. Thank you very much.